DFMs hope Europe gets Christine Lagarde-inspired fiscal boost. The European Central Bank, ECB, is not expected to change monetary policy on Thursday, but investors are optimistic a Christine Lagarde-inspired fiscal spend and bright spots in the bloc's technology sector will boost its investment appeal in the year ahead. Lagarde, pictured, has already addressed the need for the bank to focus on fiscal spending across the bloc. Speaking in September ahead of taking the ECB president role from Mario Draghi, she urged Europe's governments to cooperate more closely on fiscal policy, saying central banks were not the only game in town. While it is early days, initial signs from Lagarde's tenure have been positively received. At the bank's December meeting, Lagarde's first in charge, the ECB was more optimistic, noting downside risks were less pronounced, despite growth expected to remain muted. But for fund buyers, Europe remains unloved as stagnant growth, disinflationary pressures, ineffective monetary policy and plummeting bond yields have led to it acquiring the Japanification label. The UK set to leave the bloc by the end of the year only adds to its woes. But some are seeing Europe as a contrarian play on the back of positive economic signals coming out of China, a key market for European exporters, and foresee the impending growth of Europe's tech industry, fueled by venture capital, as a positive sign. Europe is not JapanSpeaking. At a media briefing on Monday, KBL European Private Bankers Group Chief Investment Officer Bill Street admitted Europe has significant structural problems, but he views it as a diverse trading bloc and very different to Japan, which suffers from an aging population. You can't just compartmentalise it with a trading bloc such as Japan, he said. It is multiple countries, it's got freedom of movement of labour which allows for flexibility on the demographics. It is a challenge where you have monetary policy and fiscal policy not aligned. But what we are seeing is that the economies are moving at different paces, and we do see that there will be pockets of opportunity in Europe. The caveat to this, however, is the UK's departure from the Union because of its importance as a trading partner. Alluding to Lagarde's previous point, Street says Europe will have to get its fiscal house in order if it is to recover. Europe will not be the athlete it could be unless it decides to come to the table with a fiscal policy that unites with its monetary policy. Until it does that, you're going to have huge disparities between the different countries in terms of growth rates, employment and productivity. Personally, I think we are quite some distance away from that. Street is optimistic Lagarde will bring the fiscal debate back to the table in 2020 and beyond. We do believe this fiscal agenda is going to rise quite soon, he added. France. For more on this story, visit the news article link.